Your life, gentlemen.
Competent in the digital world. Smart Barbados, we are aiming for every man, woman, boy, and girl. Next week on Training Journey today. Log on to training.nti.org.bb. Don't be shy. Come over and talk. When you step to me, just be honest, boy. You don't have to tell no lies. Take your time. Think before you talk. You think I am still staring me down. Watching my ways like I'm out to take control. You think I am still staring me down. Watching my ways like I'm out to take control. Just stop being scared and breathe. Come and wait me now. Take the wine if you want it. Come and take the wine if you want it. Just stop being scared and breathe. Come and wait on me now. Take the wine if you want it. Come and take the wine if you want it. Oh yeah.
So give me a poll. This tune here from man.
That is the reigning Junior Monarch Queen. That is the reigning Junior Monarch Queen, Ahanje Daniel, off a new project just dropped last night with the NCF. And myself, big up the NCF, Miss Robert Srifa.
I saw this all over social media for you.
Yeah,
can't remember the name of it now.
Yeah, because it's so far.
Yes,
yeah, it's so far. Big up Lisa Howell as well. Big up Adrian Older. You know, Adrian Older was the main producer over the entire project. You know, Adrian's a legend. Work with Barris and lots of
big
legends.
names, for sure.
Legends. So not respect to Adrian Older. Darren Bailey worked on the project.
Wow.
On the EP project. Daddy Bubbles worked on the project Studio B. Andre Clark from Tuma Hill worked on the project as well. Dangerous worked on the project as well. Just D Sadis.
What?
Yeah, man. So we got big names. So we try to give the youngsters the best.
I want to know how you get all these big quote unquote big names to work on this project.
It was easy to be honest. It's easy to be honest because as most people know, this stand going for enough years. So I guess after spending more than a decade being so persistent, people just get tired of telling you that, it's just the truth. You know what I mean? That's the truth.
It's probably true for you.
Because talk is float wrong with everybody. Talking about what you doing now and what you getting now, different jobs. But it more than a decade. Train. You know what I mean?
This man has me in this. For a long time.
It's real dedicated.
And when I say demands me, and this demands me extremely dedicated. So he will message you, sometimes he might not respond. He can still message you again, yo fam. There's never any bad vibes, you know. Nah. It's always positivity.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And big up everybody that that put up with me because they know that when you're stopping on a mission and you all know how I feel, especially latest updates, that happening. I always think that you should take positive people, you know what I mean? And make them heroes, man, you know what I mean? Instead of trying to make these celebrities and the positive people and then we vex when they do things or we vex when certain celebrities see things and these people might not be good people. You might be a good singer, you might be a good cricketer, you might be a good footballer or whatever, you might be a good chanter. But that means that
you might be popular.
Right, but that means you're a good person. Right. And that's saying he's doing what he wants to be popular. Got them up there as role models, which to me is incredibly stupid. And and if people offended by that, like I mean to offend you and they want you to be as offended as possible because
rubbish, as Ronnie Clark would say, rubbish.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's burn fat on that, man. And for me, that way me try to work with young people so much before they get tainted. Before they get how it was as hard as it was, before they get corrupt. We try to work with the young one and push the young ones enough for young ones like music. We try to keep you in there and push you there so you're happy and you don't say any love. If you like cricket or football, try to get focused on that as much as possible so that even God go into a job or a career or go do things, him or her go do things that they feel that they have to do in order to make money or in order to have a livelihood, you know what I mean? But I truly believe especially in 2023, whatever the young people like, there's a career for it.
It's
You know
true.
what I mean? Like it tests myself on that, right? Like
I mean, NTI is opening so many doors too. Like you can go and learn anything
don't you let me call your name?
that you can think of.
Pointing at me.
It's like
You don't let me call your name. Always pointing at me. You know what I mean? Big up down all the time. www.nti.org.bb. www.nti.org.bb. Scott, you want to hear that song from the top first, and then we introduce our next guest.
coming out from behind Jay, something called Tech Wine. Check it out.
I can see you staring over there, watching me from the corner of your eye. Don't be shy, come over and talk. When you step to me, just be honest, boy. You don't have to tell no lies. Take your time, think before you talk. You think I am staring me down, watching my legs like go, like you're under control. You think I am staring me down, watching my legs like go, like you're under control. Just stop being scared and breathe. Come on, wine on me now. Take me when if you want it. Come on, take me when if you want it. Just stop being scared and breathe. Come on, wine on me now. Take me when if you want it. Come on, take me when if you want it. Come on, take it. Take me when if you want it. Come on, take it. Take me when if you want it. Come on, take it. Take me when if you want it. Take me when if you want it. Take me when if you want it. Now you're talking about this behavior. I love it. Don't be such how I'm enjoying. You're walking right. No, yes, you I'm really think you could challenge it. Come and take a try. I won't stop you from trying if you want to. You think I am still staring me down, watching my legs like one, like you love how I take control. You think I am still staring me down, watching my legs like one, like you love how I take control. Just stop being scared and breathe. Come on, wine on me now. Take me when if you want it. Come on, take me when if you want it. Just stop being scared and breathe. Come on, wine on me now. Take me when if you want it. Come on, take me when if you want it. Come on, take it. Take me when if you want it. Come on.
Big tune right there coming out from behind Jay, Tech Wine. Yes.
Come on, take it. Take me when if you want it. Take me when if you want it.
It's Midweek Mindset with the compliments, of course, of friends over there at the NTI. Jason Green is on the inside today. He's an architectural technologist with 15 plus years of experience. He holds a BSc degree from the Caribbean School of Architecture, UTEC, Jamaica. Currently, Jason serves as a design manager at Light Gauge Solutions, Inc., a construction company specializing in the use of light gauge steel for quality, durable, and affordable housing. He has a deep interest in architectural heritage and emerging design technologies that enhance project delivery in the built environment. We gotta say welcome, Sluggy.
Manners.
Green.
Yes, thanks for coming, my brother. Come close to the mic.
Thank you.
Yes. Everything first before you start this interview. Get deep in it. How you doing? Everything good?
I'm fantastic, man.
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
good. The red is coming. Should Scott and I do anything to our houses right away?
Right away. Well, you got what?
30
Just,
seconds.
I was looking at the time between now and when the storm is estimated to come.
A few hours, actually.
A
Maybe
few
24 hours or less.
You know, I would say, make sure that things around your house, battered down and tied down and so on. That's probably the most you can do in this short period of time.
Good.
He's saying it's like you can start running your hand around. Basically.
No, I catch it. That's the one. Give Barry the news too bad. You know what I mean? You want to start this side, but I can take you positive from it. You know what I mean? Make sure things around your house secure.
Exactly.
That don't fluctuate in or anything. No, I saw that you are an architectural technologist. No. How did you even get into a field like this? How did you even were made aware of a field like this, and what exactly is an architectural technologist?
Okay. All right. Well, I always had a leaning towards art, right, and technical subjects like technical drawing, art, back in secondary school, Ardsley Secondary School.
Maybe we got us a crew.
Yeah.
Oh, we got somebody else.
So I had exposure to those arts early on. I had a propensity and a liking for them. I had a teacher, I remember Mr. Middleton, who introduced me to technical drawing and the possibility of being somebody working in the architectural field. After leaving secondary school, I went on to do an associate degree at the Barbados Community College.
And big up BCC.
Yeah. And that opened my eyes even more to the possibilities of where I can go from architectural, or well, not just architectural, but design. I even explored for a bit, possibly doing graphic design. And Donna probably don't remember, but she actually interviewed me once for a job.
Donna Redman?
So yeah, from there it was like I was sold on being an architect or being in the architectural field. So I went on to do a bachelor's degree at UTech in Jamaica.
Well,
I did architecture.
This is in architecture.
Right.
Correct. So there's a point at which you can decide your path from there, right? Specialize or become an architect, a qualified and registered architect. I was exposed to the possibility of being an architectural technologist, someone who's you're not furthering your necessarily your architectural studies at university, but you are now maybe specializing in the architectural sciences, right? Which is use of technology, specializing in bringing and developing a project from concept straight into construction and becoming like that. One of those key persons who bring all those elements together and all the while working along with architects and other persons from different backgrounds and different built environment professions like engineers and of that sort.
Nice. I love it. And no, I haven't heard much about architectural technologists. So is that because there are not a lot, or you just ain't hear about them?
It is a emerging field. It's becoming more known as a career track, right? Traditionally, persons would have known of being an architect,
Proper.
right? Or if you're not an architect, you may be a draftsman or architectural technician.
Correct.
But the architectural technology itself is becoming a valid option for persons who may not want to be an architect but want to work in the architectural arena, work in construction, and bring all those elements together.
That being what you say is emerging, which means is not updating in terms of the quantity with the rest. It's emerging. No, can you explain for the youngsters out there who might be into architecture? And you said it's an emerging field, and we ain't got to explain where the future going, especially when it comes to technology. We ain't got to say it. If you don't know, nobody knows something obviously wrong. You know what I mean? It's 2023. We there already. We in 2050 already.
Right.
You know what I mean? So can you explain to the youngsters out there who might be into seeing technical drawing and things that you do simply what architectural technology is and what they can do to check it out more?
Okay. Well, architectural technology, like I mentioned, you or a technologist would be somebody who operates at the intersection of design, design technology and construction, right? And you would be trained in architecture. Typically, you would have an architecture degree and a number of years working in an architecture firm. And then some architectural technologists go on to offer services individually, on their own, at this intersection. So I would say, well, the start would be to, make sure you have the interest and the passion for design and then for technology as well. And find your place or find yourself on a track where you can start to go through the varying schooling elements, BCC, and then moving on to a bachelor's degree. Right. So we are almost the Jacksons of all the trades, right? Professions, and we bring all the elements together to make sure the building works the way it's supposed to work and constructed the way it's supposed to construct it.
Nice. How long were your studies in Jamaica?
I was there for 3 years.
Then by when we spend more than 3 years on the block, 3 years.
It's true, we have the time study.
You know, be real.
Enough time.
Exactly. We spend more than 3 years on the block. So you take a path that he went to school in Black Rock to begin with, you know what I mean? Like, he went to school in Black Rock. Then he went BCC in the Ivy, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then he went over to Jamaica, you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
like he started with this lead, let's go to school, he went through his secondary school system, you know what I mean? Then he went through the church education system right here. So it sounds to me like it's a path.
Yeah.
It's a path that anyone who wants to can take it.
Absolutely,
You know?
yeah.
And so if you do anything in the magic trick, no, you put in the work, obviously. Like so, but that's up to the person.
Yeah.
But you don't get in there to get the opportunity. It's not like anything far fetched.
Right. I would say too also NTA has courses along these lines as well too. You
talking
know? So I mean I've seen on Coursera there's actually courses that deal with architecture and even deal with some of the emerging technologies like building information modeling, like we should mention
And free.
and free as well.
And free. So you understand, Scott? So that we say like these things don't be like a magic trick. You know, right there. And like we say, NTA got courses on these things absolutely free. You know what I mean? Which is for me is phenomenal. No, I see that you have a special interest in like architectural heritage. You know, why you have this interest in this specific thing when it comes to our heritage, our history, right? When it comes to architecture.
Well, I always, in addition to design and architecture, had an interest in history. Right, and not just history, but particularly history that relates to the African diaspora, right? And so it was kind of a merge of these two, you know, history and architecture. And like a curiosity, like you ever pass a building and wonder, like, how was that building built? You know,
especially design the ceremony.
How is that still standing?
how is it still standing? Like, particularly these old buildings.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
especially after all the hurricanes and it looks so old.
Exactly.
The roofing,
Roof's still on.
Like new barn roof blow off.
exactly. So it's that curiosity and fascination that kind of led me to, you know, doing my own research into things like the Chattel House, you know, as a shining example of a sustainable and iconic this Barbadian element. You know what I mean? Like you can't find a Chattel House nowhere else in the world. You can find maybe variations of it in other Caribbean islands, but the Chattel House in Barbados is unique to Barbados. Right? So you know, it's that fascination that led me to.
That came from a particular place though, or that came from our ancestors that is designed there to bring here.
That's a good question.
Pretty unique.
So there's a lot of elements that went into forming or creating the Chattel House, but just briefly, the history of it is that, you know, after emancipation, it's like 1834. There's a period of time where we went through what they call the apprenticeship. Right. We didn't have land, so we had to stay. So we had to stay on the property of the plantation owners, right?
Correct.
It's their property.
Come by on land. You don't get no freedom.
And it's their property, you know? So at any point in time, they could come and say, well, I want to use this land for
you're going to move from here.
And you gotta move from here, you know?
You
gotta move, right? Take your property and move. So the Chattel House was a deconstructible or collapsible element or structure that you could pack up on the back of a donkey cart and move it to literally move it.
A house that you live in.
The house that you live in. Right, so you know that's really the chattel element coming, you know, movable property. But then the actual form and shape of it was, you know, just a combination of the different elements that were being present before. So yes, there would have been some African influence as well. There would have been some of the colonial influence, you know, influences from other cultures that came together to make the Chattel House look or have the Chattel House feature that we are known for in Barbados.
Nice.
Listen, studying the history from all fronts is extremely exciting, right? But then we could break down the nature of something that people used to go through. That's by architecture alone. You know what I mean? I had a history lesson, like you explain Scotland, like what the person used to use donkeys. So these is real things that happened. This in a far-fetched story. I mean, you're not talking about 1,000 years ago either.
No.
Like, when you really consider time, that wasn't that long. You mean from there to here? Yeah. That wasn't that long. Cause you hear my grandfather speaking about them things, you know what I mean? And I got certain persons that consider me young. You know what I mean? So they tell me that was that far ago. It says to me that when you study architectural heritage or history, you have to notice that they couldn't be saying that we just do on the flight of a thought. If you get me, it couldn't be that Scotland like just here saying, oh, he's gonna build something, I'm gonna build it. not when you gotta move it,
Yeah.
but when you move it and build it, it's still withstanding hurricanes.
No, a lot of thought went into them, man.
And it's not a solid foundation
Mm-hmm.
or anything. You know what I mean? A solid foundation is just wood.
Yeah, you just coming and putting it back on top of a few blocks
But
or a
it's
few
saying it's like-
soft stones or whatever they used to use back in the day.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
A great deal of thought went into them, you know.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
things that we kind of sadly losing today, moving away from.
You picking
Right.
That's where we were going, Sluggy,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
the next question
Like-
for Drew.
if someone taught me the same, we might look at the things and keep moving them callously, because they try to host or host anything of it. But then we explain everything that's explained. I had to say like there's gonna be some things that we don't practice no more that we should. If you get me, there's gonna be some things that we don't talk about anymore or pass on anymore.
Yeah.
Is that a case that a lot of things that we used to do in terms of architecture and heritage we don't practice no more, or we don't teach or tell?
We, as we became more industrial, and there's certain elements that we would have put aside because we saw them as lesser technology, right? Or lesser. We started to have AC houses, fans, and so on. So for instance, cross ventilation, like passive ventilation, right?
Yeah.
Which is having windows on opposing ends of the building, or using shading elements like louvers, jalousie windows. These are the shutter windows that you push up with the stick. Right. Things like that we would have started to shy away from because we had more modern window treatments and so on. All right, that looks old timeish, right? But these things serve purposes for they kept the building cooler, they shaded the building, the interior from the sun. The cross ventilation kept building cool without the need of AC or
Because the wind is just passing right
passing through. The pitch roof itself, also allowed hot air to rise, and then you remember the child houses, you got these two windows that
top of the roof.
those allows hot air that rises to vent out.
For real?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, so what's the point of these windows all the way top of the roof?
Exactly.
You may go ahead that little thing on top of there, but maybe explain it. Explain what you mean. It's lower down that cooling the house and the hot air going to the top. Then the hot air have a place to go out. So
Exactly.
you see how a man dance like me who know them architecture can understand when you explain it. That's why it's important to have these conversations, because if we can understand, I certainly these bright little men that go in school, not CSCs at the thing, they certainly can understand it much better. That way I'm so happy that how easy you can explain it. But could we take those things right and bring them into the modern world still?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, they're very low hanging fruit in terms of improving the indoor quality of a building and minimizing your use. No one is saying you can't have AC in it. I would still want AC in my house, right?
Speaking of AC, somebody might argue it's cheaper not to put in the AC now to get what you call a jealousy window,
Right.
or even louvers or shutters.
So what I'm saying is that you can rely less on the AC. There may be months, there are months in the year
you
where
need that AC.
the rain isn't very intense.
I relate a lot less.
Yeah, but you can rely a lot less on it, right? Which saves you money in the long run. It's more sustainable, better for the environment. So things just incorporating that high level window, depending on your type of roof, and cross ventilation are two easy things that can be implemented to bring into taking from the past and using those features in modern contemporary buildings.
Well,
No, listen. You gotta say a heavy one. Say,
All right.
no. The Prime Minister knows he's one of the champions for climate change. Scotland was asking about the old buildings and so on. Is there anything that we are doing now? If we are construction workers out there and formers and things shut on the ears a minute, 60 seconds. Is there? And I mean, quick spot, right?
All right.
If we have to do it. If the telling Scotland now you working ain't soon, and Scott great grandchildren they can get to live and see what we see. If you're telling me so, okay, we are set. Is there anything that we are doing now that is contributing to the detriment of our climate?
Yes. I mean that before we even say
in
that.
terms of construction, you know, we doing normally, you know, like more cars and so on, and all that stuff, you know, the things that we do, bar practices that we might have.
Right, but construction.
But in terms of
works.
construction, which is no more like a norm.
Right.
And certain things might be a norm.
That industry is booming again right now too.
Right.
So yeah.
And got construction to a project coming that's now in Bridgestone, billions getting spent. So is there anything that we're doing to contribute to the detriment of our claim?
Yes.
And how can we help if we can?
Right. Well, it said some studies say that construction contributes to at least 50% of
50?
yes of climate change, right? And so the things that go into
Wow.
yeah, so it's significant. Yeah, it's significant.
So you know 50%. I said.
That's enough.
Or imagine everything you get paid $200, right?
Yeah.
You lost $100.
Yeah.
Like oh they want to that's listen, Donna.
That was a great example, so you can feel that.
Like a poor man, so that's the correlation they can meet in my mind. Like me getting like $200
Half.
and they lost in $100
Half.
and they give both each other $50 and they standing back again.
Half.
Jeez,
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
yeah. So 50%. And that comes in a number of factors. One is wastage, right? The construction industry is known for a lot of waste.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you see, on site men cutting blocks, and then at the end of the construction, you got a skip full
blocks,
of
metal,
materials and so on, metal and so on. Right?
Metal glass.
So it's a highly wasteful industry, and it doesn't have to be that way, right?
Well, it doesn't.
It doesn't have to
That
be.
way, like, see, no,
No, it doesn't have to
that
be.
way, love you solutions coming.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Then there's also the very intense manufacturing industry, that you're resource intensive. You know,
Yes.
the amount of inputs that go into manufacturing certain materials, then that need to be transported halfway across the world. So you know, those are all factors that contribute to you know that 50%. In terms of remedying some of these things, there's a number of technologies or things we could be doing better here.
Good.
I am a proponent, a fan of modular or prefab construction, right?
Yes.
Which is one of the things I
glad to hear you say like that, because you know it's not my friends and they hear me say like that, but to me, I was into the architectural side. That's like easy to put up. And my best thing, tech alone stuff like building a house and invest.
Exactly.
Then make sure they're big. And I ever get to live with my children. You know, it's like they can't things they kind of to me ground, so they're not big too.
Yeah.
So it's still trying to build a house. They just let myself free fab, look easy and simple, but that can't be a reason for like it.
Well, I mean, it's easy and simple. That's true. That's one reason, right? It's fast construction. One category of that which I'm involved in is the use of like gauge steel. Right. These are modularly constructed structures that are fabricated on site. You can literally bring the wall panels to site and erect, let's say, a 2,000 square foot house in maybe a week.
What?
Right?
No.
No,
That's
real thing.
impossible, man.
Very possible. Very possible, right? And for less, and you can get that structure up for less than you would if you were building a blockwork structure.
I'm sorry, Juan. My bad is I know my flip that audio. Go ahead, say that.
And you can get that structure up for less than you would for a cost of a blockwork structure.
I want people to hear that. So and it's more environmentally friendly.
And more environmentally friendly because there's steel typically is
you put it like BS, right?
like gauge steel.
Like gauge, sorry.
Right. So not to be confused with structural steel, which you find in large industrial buildings.
Those big I-beams and
correct. So it's more environmentally friendly because of the recycled material going into it. It's recycled steel typically. A lot of the steel in like gauge steel today is recycled from previous iterations, right?
This I heard that known among other architects.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's something that is steadily gaining traction here in Barbados. In other areas of the world. It is.
There's somebody listening right now saying it might be cheaper, but I prefer to spend my money and have something more durable. Is it as durable?
That's a good question, though.
Scott,
yes.
That's a good question, Scott.
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, hold on. You're saying Scott asked you if it is as durable or more durable. As durable.
It is as durable, and I would even say more durable in some aspects.
That's what I'll go ahead.
Right. The like gauge steel.
Yes.
Right. In terms of the strength to weight ratio, is lighter than let's say a timber frame building, but stronger. right?
Mhm.
The other thing is that because of the way it is engineered, you know, the structure works as a homogeneous structure, like it's all tied in together,
Right.
So that's where the strength of it comes. So it can be engineered for at least a category 3 and even up to a category 5.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, listen, it less money is as durable or more durable. Yeah, and it uses you see it called light gauge.
Like gauge.
Uses the light gauge steel, and you said because of the homogeneous structure, I mean it's all intertwined.
All intertwined and
All
connected
intertwined
together.
one another.
Yeah.
You know, you learn that there's no on lives, no so anybody can learn off my dummy. You know what I mean? Like, no big up you for that for real. So for all those reasons, explain why it is better than me.
And it is environmentally friendly because remember it was last week or week before we were talking about water and scarcity and that sort of
You
thing.
correct me before.
Well, that's a good question too, because I know you had an environmental manager here recently, right?
Yes.
And I think she would like the fact that the construction process is very water. Well, you don't use
A lot of
nearly
water.
as much water.
I
as
can't
you would.
imagine you when you're using just steel like this.
Actually, she mentioned that. I think she mentioned how much water construction.
Yeah.
Construction uses a lot of water,
It
yeah.
is, yeah.
But you know, the use of like gauge steel, you can significantly reduce the water
Mm.
because it's a dry process. You're not mixing concrete
Mhm.
necessarily, you know, apart from the foundations
Mhm.
for the, you know.
Yeah. So listen to me. If it's cheaper, is more environmentally friendly, and you're saying in some cases even stronger. Then you mentioned Scott 3 to 5. You say 3 to 5 category 3 to 5.
At least rated for a category 3, but it can be rated up to 5.
No, which is great. If it's rated for a category 3, that's great for sure.
That's amazing.
God, don't care really if it's getting the shelter if it's getting the category 4.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, so that for me that's phenomenal. So what would be the reasons for the pushback, if any? Or you think that we are a place now where we welcome to where we open up to the idea using these much more? I ain't hearing a reason why we shouldn't.
Right. I think we are a place where we're opening up, welcoming those options, particularly because of the rising costs of construction and materials as well. So I wouldn't say there's pushback. There is, you know, as we all know, you know, Barbados, we tend to have look where we would wait and see it being used.
Interest.
Yes. You know, let me see it being used and proven.
Let me see if it can work first.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that is where we're at. It has been used, it has been proven, but I still think it would probably take some time for persons to. But we do get quite a bit of interest, and persons are doing their own research and seeing how it's being utilized outside of Barbados and other places. So we're getting there.
When you say cheaper, is much cheaper?
So you're putting him off in the spot.
Well, depends. There is dependent on other factors outside of the actual structure, right?
Alright,
so
so
such as your finishes.
Okay.
So it could be anywhere between 10 to 30% reduction in cost, right?
What?
But it depends again on the size of the structure.
If I build something and the buying done me 180, right?
Mhm.
And so you're saying like it can be like $18,000 less. The lease. At the lease is 18,000.
Again, depending on other factors,
10 to
like
30,
your finishes and so on, because
Right.
you look like a man got fancy taste. You might want you might want marble floors.
Alright, but if I get something right, Scott as strong or stronger than right, and let me see it. Alright, it don't save 18, they save 12,000.
You saved a lot, fam.
Don't you know things like
Yeah.
that with that though? I mean, like you know what I mean. I haven't mean to jump. You know what I mean? I mean, you might get a good coach. I mean, you might
Exactly.
put 6,000 on each child account or saying.
And that's what we say, you can take that money and that you're saving and reinvest maybe into the finishes of the house to upgrade, what
you
aesthetics of the house,
yeah.
what you originally envisioned.
Yeah.
Or again, that could be funneled,
Yeah.
somewhere else. Yeah.
I like that, saving money, protecting the environment. You know what I mean, and keeping the environment safe, and you're doing civic duty. I love that.
Design manager at like Gauge Solutions Inc. Jason Green. Inside today's sluggy.
Listen to me.
How can we get in touch with y'all? Because I feel like I need to build a house with someone like that.
Let me
Save some money.
Let me tell you, I know enough people out there tuned in and glued in. You know what I mean? Like we need to get in contact with you, brother. If it's not you, but if it's any way we can see you or the business or really work with online?
Yes,
you
well,
should
you
make
could you can look us up on Instagram, like Gauge Solutions Inc.
Mm-hmm.
or LGS Inc. on Instagram. There you could get in contact with us, and we could discuss what it is you are looking at doing and how we might be able to help.
Like Gauge Solutions Inc. Mr.
Love it.
Greenman was
LGS_INC, correct?
Correct.
Get him again, Scott, sorry.
LGS_INC, or you could just search for like Gauge Solutions Inc.
Yeah.
It'll pop up same way.
No, good. I know you like I know you overtime. I know look at the phone. I see you overtime, but so big up Scott for giving more time and they saying that no before we end. But before we end, right? Scott, you mentioned where we were before in terms of the architecture and where we are now. Is there anything that we should be looking forward to, or we should be looking out for, or we should get in tune with, in your professional opinion, that is coming?
As consumers, as persons, you're talking from the potential homeowner end, or just as a
Potential homeowner and
I would say, we're becoming, or we're seeing more and more activity, in the hurricane season.
Yeah.
Like we are now, right? And it's going to be important for potential homeowners to, when they're engaging designers, to make sure that they received a constructible and safe building. So, maybe ensure that your designer presents or provides you with construction drawings, not just design drawings. This ensures that he or she has thought about the constructability of the project. Also, as you move into construction, maybe start to engage. This is something you're investing in. This is your home. It's supposed to be safe. Maybe engage in an engineer as well to review those drawings to make sure that everything is as it should be. Constructed safe. When you get into construction, maybe have a built environment professional, somebody with knowledge to peek in on the project periodically to make sure that things are progressing as they should, and home is being built in
to
the
your
manner.
plan.
That's what I would say in terms of my advice.
Any trains that Scotland should look out for? Any trains in architectural, technology? Know that Scotland they on, we plug in, we on to it. Any trains?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, good.
Absolutely. A couple that I'm very excited about and involved in.
Yes, please.
Use of building information modeling, right? To put it simply, it is almost like a dress rehearsal for a construction project. You are modeling a building, right? Modeling a house, for instance, or whatever type of building, in 3D, but not just a 3D model, but it's a 3D model, an intelligent 3D model with information inputted into it that you could kind of extract from it, right? So it's almost like you're conducting a dress rehearsal for the construction of that project. You can now do models, and when I say model in terms of structural analysis of the building. You can do environmental analysis of the building to see how
Seriously?
Yeah, man. So I think
Scott, this like a whole show.
He needs to come up next week.
Don't laugh, you don't laugh. Behind there you go, because that one question sound like it being
And that's only part one, Slicky. You didn't even give us the second one yet.
Go.
Well, yeah, that's building information model. And then there's the use of laser and 3D scanners. So once upon a time, let's say we're dealing with heritage buildings, for instance. You want to renovate a heritage building, you need to go with tape measure and pen and pencil, and draw tape and start measuring that right? That can take a week or weeks depending on the scale of the project.
For sure.
We're to the point now where we are employing technology which they're literally cameras or devices which you can take to a building. It spins around, shoots lasers at the building, and is able to document that building in 3D, right? So you are
Star Trek.
Yeah,
You are Star Trek. That's what you're gonna say, right? You are Star Trek.
It's almost like Star Trek. We're there.
We when they said early in team, we hold up. We already did. That we was supposed to. Like, cause we there already.
We there.
And that's phenomenal. So these cameras take the picture of the building, shine lasers all around the building, and then creates a 3D model
Yes.
of the building.
Yes.
That you could then use obviously as scale for your measurements. or
Exactly,
whatever.
you know, so you take that, you take that, download that back in your office. You don't need to go back and visit if you forget a dimension. You don't need to run back up to the sites.
Back there.
Also, from a heritage point of view, it's important because it now allows you to document quickly and hands-off document a historic building, which may be delicate, right, in a short period of time. And now you have that building for posterity, you know, like
That
you
can help
have.
reconstruction too.
It can help with reconstruction as well too, right? So let's say we get a hurricane, demolishes that building. We have a digital replica of that building that we could refer to if we wanna reconstruct it.
Yeah.
That could be very precise too.
And very precise. It's very
I love that.
precise.
So a question quickly, bro. So this is the person that does this. That's a career in itself, or that's
That could be
do that.
that could be a career in itself. Persons in,
You know, we bring always getting Scott. I think what young people know and jobs for
No,
different.
that's a good question.
Future.
Yeah. Well, it's a technology that technologists and architects and
Right.
designers would deploy, right? I myself, we have access to camera, we use it for our projects, right?
Nice.
But yes, there's a separate and distinct profession where you could become a reality capture professional, right?
Nice.
Reality capture.
A reality capture
A
professional.
reality capture
I'm telling
professional.
you, get some jobs for them. Let's tell you, can here to play. Like listen, NTI, we can get some jobs. These people go ahead and reality capture.
Professional. Right. So you are that person who I would call,
Yes.
right, and say, well, yeah, we got this, 30,000 square foot structure, and we need as-built drawings for
Right.
this,
Right.
He may be using drones.
Mm-hmm.
He may use laser scanners. He may use 3D scanners. He may use also just regular DSLR cameras. Maybe all four or a combination of them.
Yeah.
Record that building, document it, produce a three-dimensional point cloud building, and hand that over to me so I can now produce my drawings and do the renovation drawings or the extension or the renovation.
Listen, man, I love it. And the reason, right, Barry, is hear me ask these questions because I just want my youngsters to answer as much questions as possible. You know what I mean? Because I'm so glad that they just decided to answer if it could be a career, then you further went on to explain. It just, for me, it just gives youngsters more options. That's only more options, you know what I mean? So who have ears to hear, let them hear, but they want Scott hear what they say. Because these days, planning got a course for everything that should be amazing. Like, serious though, listen, this is what they say, Scott. Greening the economy, sustainable cities. This course is taken from the Architectural Technologist Collection. Course, you see, you got technologists right here, right?
Right.
This course is taken from the Architectural Technologist Collection of NTI course series, Building and Construction Learning Program that explores sustainable cities as engines for greening economies around the world, placing cities in the context of sustainable urban transformation and climate change. Boom. The course examines how visions, experiments, and innovations can transform urban areas. I love that. And looks at practices, what is happening in cities at present, and opportunities. What are the possibilities for cities going forward into the future? Beginner level, Lund University, Lund, L-U-N-D, University, and let's make sure you mention university item because so they could go on Google.
Yeah.
One.
Always accredited university.
You know what I mean? So they could go on doing their own research and you know what I mean, don't go attack my opinion about Lund, L-U-N-D University, approximately 9 hours. Every time, right? Go, I said it before we end, right? Every time the people from NTI mention hours, it make me feel weird, don't see? Like sometimes you might sleep. You know, sleep for 7 hours, Scott, 6 hours, you know what I mean? Get
Right.
8 hours sleep. But you tell you something, like, you know, sleep, that could be like 6 hours over that night.
Yeah. It's
You
true.
make sure, like
And I find they're very generous. Well, I don't know, man. You feel more than like
No, but you know, but
they're very generous with the hours that they say the course might take.
2 youngsters tell me so this week.
Because if you're committed, you can get through the things sometimes in half of that time, you know.
Listen, you're right. And wanna DM me these things on purpose, right? I just want to know, I see this sometimes on purpose. So I know with screen card and say Allison on one and just to show them think it was his me. But I want to know, right, that I ain't got no shame. If I take 8 hours of the night, I take it. Right?
Yeah.
Completely.
As long as it takes.
I feel good when I wanna come and say you that day that long, it done that in 4 hours, I feel good. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So keep challenging me, you know what I mean? That way here for and if it wasn't like this one day to do the courses like that. You know what I mean? So do the courses and stop trying to make me look shame and Scott always coming up on here and saying the generous really time. But to be honest though, the time is very generous for real.
It is true.
If we being serious, like half the things you look at and you look at your content, then you go through them, we don't need that time. So having that time is good because it shows me that they ain't about the pass or field system. You know what I mean? The system where they want you to get the information for real. Because you know in the past, you do a course, you do very well. When you really understand it that deep. So this year is not a pass or fail system. Like when you finish one section and you understand it, you move on to the next.
Just want you to learn, fam. Just
Move on to the
learn.
next section. So that way, like NTI.org.
.bb.
No, before you go, Mr. Green, before you go, as an architectural technologist, is there anything you would like Barbados to know right now that you would like us to take heed of? Anything at all? Study your head good. Let's not just can't question.
Surely he has a million things and he want to pick the best
good.
one.
That's good.
To take heed of.
Yes.
I like what you said about the options for youngsters.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we have a lot of emerging technologies, again, like drones, the 3D scanning, architectural and design technologies.
Yeah.
I guess this message is specifically for younger people that, there are plenty of emerging technologies out there that can be very beneficial to Barbados and the region at large. And we need persons to kind of spearhead them, get into them. They may not be, it may take some time for the persons locally to accept them as possibilities, because, we want to hold on to all things with them. But, start to get familiar with these technologies, explore them, get your hands on them. Seek out persons internationally who may have the expertise and, bring that knowledge and expertise home to Barbados and that we get some progress.
No, I love that. And
When we up the thing, that's what he's meaning to
and
say.
anything about using it for us, and bring it to Barbados, that would be about creating the Star Vision. You know what I mean? Creating the Star Vision, that would be about. So big ups to you, sir. It was lovely. But that question that could go on for hours. We need you back. We need to know about these technologies, Scott, especially in the architectural technology world. We need to know about them and why we should know about them and how can they help us and how can they benefit Barbados as a nation. And those questions alone, you could take a whole show to explain.
Absolutely.
So I thank you in advance for coming again. You know what I mean? Don't look at me stink nor nothing. I thank you in advance for coming again. NTI.org.bb. Over 5,000 free courses, and as usual, it's always telling that I love them, allow me to be me because I just want the youngsters to take heed, take advantage of these courses. The Miss Holly class, the Miss FR, and too easy, ain't costing nothing but a little time. You know what I mean? NTI.org.bb. Over 5,000 courses free. Scott Leroy and your boy Uncle Sluggy every Wednesday at 3:35 until 4 or 5-ish. Yeah.
It depends. Keep it locked up.
Manners.
With every vision, with the knowledge and skills, to the citizens of good character, confident and creative, visions achieving excellence.
Blow, blow, blow.
Smart Barbados, we are